What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Christina Shivers, C Shivs, what do you want to call me? And today I am here with my first ever podcast episode. Let's get inside it because honestly, guys, I've been having this dream for years and it's finally happening. So I'm just really blessed to be able to do it and to have support like I have been having. So if you are listening to this, you are included in that and I appreciate you. On the How to Pray podcast, we discuss ways of overcoming pain, the obstacles of recovery, accepting our past, and yielding to our new life. Again, I am your host, Christina Shivers. I am located here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and today we will be discussing what it means to be a therapeutic friend. So without further ado, let's get it started.
Don't give up this time. Don't back down. Don't be afraid. And tell your heart to take a leap of faith and start today.
Alright, y'all, so we're going to be talking about what it means to be a therapeutic friend. I know this is something that people can relate to, whether you are that person for someone or someone is that person for you. I wanted to make it clear that being a therapeutic friend is not always bad for you. It's only bad when it hinders you. And we're going to be talking about how to cut out those habits and antics of being one-sided relationship, meaning you're always there for somebody, but they're not always there for you. You're always dependent on, but you cannot depend on anybody else. We're going to talk about how to cut those kind of habits out. Because everyone deserves to have a life where frustration, confusion, and anger are not a consistency. Because everybody deserves to be happy. Worrying about someone's next day to where you're not focused on yourself should not be part of your normal. All right. So being a therapeutic friend is more like being a life coach to someone rather than being a friend, right? People come to you mainly for consistent advice, and you feel like you're living double lives as you're trying to navigate your own life, but also answer for another. And it gets confusing sometimes, and it leads to exhaustion. Mentally and physically, it can be very much exhausting. And like I was saying, they don't reciprocate that same energy back to you. So meaning you can be having a bad day, so you reach out to someone you're always there for, and as opposed to providing reassurance or love, they keep themselves at a distance. That is what we will be doing a dive in today, how to stop that natural routine of a one-sided relationship. I know from personal experience and from what I've been told that I've always been that person that people love to come and talk to. And I love that. I love being that outlet for people. Again, I would like to make it clear that being a therapeutic friend is not always bad. It is only bad when it hinders you. Some people have a purpose of helping others, but there are ways that we can prevent it from hindering who we are. I love being the comforter and the one people choose to come to for assistance, whether it's to cry to me, call me, ask me to pray for them, etc. I love that. I love retaining that information because that means that somebody out there in the world trusts me enough. They trust me enough to allow me to be their emergency contact. But my question to you, the therapeutic friend, who is your emergency contact? Who can you call on a moment's notice when you're worried, when you're stressed, when you're frustrated, when you're happy? Who can you call and know will answer and give you the reassurance you need? We can't live our lives believing that our purpose is to solely fulfill others' purpose. It's not fair. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to them. And it's not fair to God who created you to be different. Right? So today we're just going to be discussing how to stop this pattern of behavior. You know, therapeutic friends, they tend to have that people-pleasing ability. And I'm speaking from firsthand experience. I'm not calling anybody out. Everything that I say in my podcast is strictly from firsthand experience or my personal reference and opinions and perspectives. This is to not attack or offend anybody in any way, shape, or form. But now back to what I was saying. With that people-pleasing ability, we are not going to turn people away. If someone calls me while I am in distress to tell me how they are in distress, I'm not going to ignore that call. I will suck it up and answer that call. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. And that is the life that I signed on for. So how do I sign off? How can I become a healthy therapeutic friend? Well, you have to learn how to assert yourself. If you find yourself in a vicious cycle of constantly worrying about if your friend is sad, happy, always waiting for that next shoe to drop instead of worrying about your own happiness, then I have some tips for you. I like to call this tactic the give me 5 method. When a friend reaches out to you in distress, but you yourself are not in the right headspace to help, simply say, give me 5. This is the time that you are allowing yourself to collect your thoughts and weigh your capability to assist the individual at hand. It is okay to let people know that you are not okay at that moment. That is perfectly fine. No one is expected to be okay 100% of the time. So they call or text you saying they need your ear or your help. So you just say, give me 5. And during this time, you are still collecting your thoughts, like I said, and you give yourself questions of, what are the risks of agreeing to this? Will I be upset at the person who's asking me? And most importantly, will I be doing this with a genuine heart, right? Because we also have to remember we are humans talking and adjusting to other humans. If you're not going to do something with a genuine heart, what's the purpose or the point of doing it? And I just wanted to be clear that somebody asking for your ear is still a favor, and you're allowed to say no at that moment. Doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make you vindictive or evil. It makes you a person that also has emotions and feelings that need to be worked out before you can assist others. So when asked to do something, say, give me 5, and evaluate any and all possible outcomes that may come from it. When we take a few moments to ask ourselves these types of questions, we reduce the risk of regretting to agreeing to something that we do not initially want to do. This includes allowing other spirits or energy to invade your own. I tell my grandmother this all the time, and yes, I talk to my grandma every single day and night. Sue me. I love that woman. But I tell her this all the time because she is the type of person that people also love to go and talk to. She still, for years, she would just sit in her recliner, be on that phone all day long talking to people, and I have to remind her, Grandma, you cannot allow everybody to have a piece of your energy, a piece of your spirit, because they'll take, and they won't give back. And that's so crucial to remember, that you cannot put yourself in a predicament where you are being reduced without being replenished. It's not healthy and it's not sane, and it won't be in the betterment of you. And today we're focused on how to be a better you. So if you know that this will hinder you, it is not for you. It's just as simple as that. If you know that it will bring you stress, more worry, more anxiety, more frustration, it's not for you. It's a clear sign that it's not for you, and that's okay. It is difficult to assist others if you yourself are not your best. If they do not respect the 5 that you asked for and instead turn against you in that moment, trust that they are also not for you. It may be time to let go of that energy in order to prevent it from hindering you and your spirit. Like everything important in life, letting someone go is a process. I won't be discussing that process in this episode, but stay tuned for the next episode because it is a 4-step process that I use to this day, and it's helped me overcome a lot of barriers and anxious moments of confrontation. So I kind of want to move on to another portion of this, right? So let's talk about an analogy that I love using. So you know how on airplanes they say in cases of emergencies, pull the mask over yourself before helping someone else. They say this because you cannot save someone else if you're down for the count. So place your mask on first, then help another. You can't remain a healthy, patient, giving, and caring person if you constantly give without replenishing your own needs. It's so important. It's so important for us to remember that in order for us to care for others, we have to make sure that we care for ourselves. And this has taken me years to come to the realization that I cannot be happy just because someone else is happy. I have to be happy because Christina is happy for herself and that I am proud of myself. And if you take this perspective and you flip it, let's think about the people that do rely on you. They need you to be stable. They need you to do your best. So how can you be your best when you're not your best? You see where the confusion lies? Whenever you have a day off, treat yourself. And when I say treat yourself, I mean there is no limit. You can do whatever you want. Get your nails done, sit on the couch, watch your shows, i.e. SVU, take a long bath, do a face mask, do something that is for the betterment of you. If you like meditating, meditate. If you like to read, read. I mean, it helps in the long run. And I genuinely do hope that these tips help. Now, I know that today's episode was quite short. It was just a little introduction for you to get to know my perspective on certain things. It is not going to be the only short episode, but at the same time, there's going to be many episodes that are going to be jam-packed with more information. But I wanted to briefly discuss this as a way to open the door to more conversation that we will be discussing later on. So with that being said, this is going to conclude my first episode of the How to Pray podcast, where we discuss ways of overcoming pain, the obstacles of recovery, accepting our past, and yielding to our new life. I have been your host, Christina Shivers, and I hope you all have enjoyed this episode and that it resonates with someone out there. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me on all my social medias. They are Christina Shivers. Twitter is just Tina_Shivers. You can find me, you can DM me, you can comment on any of my posts. If you have anything that you want to get off your chest, just let me know. You guys can comment down below if you're watching or listening to this on YouTube. And please like, share, and just spread the word, because somebody out there needs to hear this. Whether it's you and it has to be 100 times to understand, or whether it's somebody like a family member or a friend or significant other, share this to somebody. Because I also want to open a conversation. I don't want this to be the end of this conversation. I'm opening a conversation. I want us to talk about this more. Remember to keep doing it for the fans. Keep hope alive, because you are somebody. I have been your host, Christina Shivers. This is me signing off. God bless. Love you. Bye.
Gonna happen if you keep on thinking that way. So nervous, deep inside, so worth it. Don't give up this time. Don't back down. Don't be afraid. Tell your heart to take a leap of faith and start today.